Today on V8 Extra, we're beachside at Surfers Paradise for the Armorall Gold Coast 600. This weekend, the world comes to play the V8 Supercar game. Our regular stars are joined by 28 of the best from Formula One, IndyCar and Sports Car. And our special guest is IndyCar star James Hinchcliffe. We'll cover off all the very latest from the pit lane as we build towards qualifying. That's all ahead on this special trackside edition of V8 Extra.
Yes, hi everybody, welcome to V8 Extra, our special Gold Coast edition. We're alongside the beach at Surfers Paradise, a great place for a racetrack as we welcome you to our coverage, our preview show of the Armorall Gold Coast 600. As you just heard, we've got our 28 superstars joined by 28 internationals from all around the world, Formula One, Sports Car, IndyCar. It's going to be another very, very big weekend. To help me through the whole process, my colleague Mark Scaife. And Scaife, a lot to play for now in the back end of this championship. We've got 1,200 points available. Just 162 points is the margin.
Certainly is, Neil. It's one of those things now that we've said the whole time, 900 points across these long-distance races. And this weekend with the guest co-drivers, a lot of pressure on those guys to perform.
We've spoken a bit about the co-drivers in the lead-up to this event. Let's have a bit of a look at who we're talking about here. And there isn't enough time to go through the pedigree. We've got some amazing guys. Sebastian Bourdais, for example, who has 4 Champ Car titles. He won here on the streets of the Gold Coast last year in a V8. Ryan Briscoe joins us again. He's had time in a V8 supercar. He was on the pole at the Indy 500 earlier this year. Will Power comes back and joins us once again. Runner-up in the championship in IndyCar 3 times. And Marco Andretti, his great uncle John, won here way back in 1991 driving for Jim Hall and VDS. It was amazing.
As you said, what an unbelievable lineup of drivers. So many Formula One and superstar IndyCar drivers. Graham Rahal there joining Rick Kelly. His father, Bobby, was a superstar of IndyCar racing. Stevie Johnson there with Max Pappas also enjoyed success around the streets here of the Gold Coast. Jonathan Webb with Mark Lieb. Mark Lieb was fastest, Neil, yesterday in practice 2 and 3, so he was the fastest of the co-drivers. And Darren Turner with James Courtney. He's a mate of James. He used to be the McLaren Formula One test driver.
James Hinchcliffe, who's going to be our special guest, we'll meet in just a moment, is in the field with Michael Caruso. Very quick yesterday. Expat International Australian David Brabham, Le Mans winner 2009, is back in the field. Nick Heidfeld, 183 Grand Prix starts, including a third last year at the Malaysian Grand Prix with Lotus, so he's only just out of a Formula One car. Now, joining us is a guy that helped us with the call with the IndyCars here a few years ago. It's great to have him back, Canadian James Hinchcliffe. Hi, mate. Nice to have you here again.
Well, thanks for having me back.
That is very green. That is very bright. The GoDaddy uniform, I'm not quite ready for at this point in time.
They actually gave me a new one just for this event. They've taken some of the black away from my IndyCar suit and put even more green on, so...
Hey, Michael Caruso was very fast yesterday. How are you acclimatising? Obviously, not much forgiving nature at this place.
No, it's a big ask, you know. It's a car I've never driven, a track I've never seen, and, you know, the curbs here obviously are very difficult, but the team's been great. They know what to do. They know what these international drivers are going to want, so it's been a good experience.
8th in your IndyCar championship this year, James, and a couple of podium places as well along the way. You've had a very good season. Now, I scoured through your history. I don't see a lot of sedan action there, so having a windscreen and a roof is very different for you.
And a steering wheel on the right-hand side of the car as well. It's when you come to a place like this, I mean, you guys can see right here the curb riding that you have to do. I looked at those curbs during the track walk, and my back started to hurt because if I even thought about that in an Indy car, I'd probably be out for the season. So it was difficult getting used to what these things are capable of around here.
Big slide. That's a massive slide there for Lee Holdsworth off the back of the beach chicane. That was a big one. He almost fired into the fence on the left-hand side. And look at Garth Tander. Look at the damage. It actually plucked the rear shock right out of this car. Have a look at that.
Well, both of them, in fact. I spoke to him just on the way to the program, and it broke both rear shock absorbers. That's the reason why it was dragging itself. Here is car number 19, Jonathan Webb, 6th at Bathurst, and broken left front suspension for him. And I think this is going to be the tale of the weekend, managing the curbs, understanding the right measure between pushing hard and aggression. And, of course, traffic's another thing here. 28 cars, 3-kilometre racetrack, and you can see that Tim Slade and Craig Lowndes there tangling, and Craig wasn't too happy about that.
Certainly wasn't, but as we just pointed out a second ago, James Hinchcliffe, teammate Michael Caruso, was very fast at the end of qualifying, or the last practice session leading into qualifying. And look at this action across the curbs, and the amount of air that the car gets in this fast chicane, about 150 kilometres an hour where we see the car there now.
So, James, are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, like as you said, the curbs are going to be the big story of the day. They've got these sensors on them, but I think the curbs almost self-police. I don't think you need the sensors because you see what happens when you go over them. So it's going to be an exciting race.
It's going to be a very busy day for us. 300 Ks of racing coming up later in the afternoon, but for now, we're counting down to qualifying. James Hinchcliffe, have a great run today.
Thank you very much.
Catching up with you. We'll take a break on V8 Extra. We're back with more as we count down to qualifying. Stay with us.
50 years in the making. Here at Mount Panorama, the legend now continues. He's got nothing left in the tank, Jamie Whincup.
It's going to happen again. 2 years in a row, we've got this ridiculously tight margin between two cars. We've all got sweaty palms. There's 6,200 metres remaining in this car race.
This is Commodore against Falcon, going for the Peter Brock Trophy.
Davey looks up the inside at 2.
Going for his first ever V8 Supercar win.
Mark Dutton's urging, James Small is urging. There's nothing in it. It's millimetres at the top of the hill.
This is it. Go for broke time for Reynolds.
He's got to fire it down the inside at Forest Elbow. Just fire it down there.
Come on, Davey, win it or bin it.
What has Reynolds got left in the tank? Has he got enough? Is he close enough to make a move?
They're both brilliant. Oh, big slide for Whincup. He just barely hung on to it then.
Today, Jamie Whincup joins the greats. He gets his fourth. Paul Dumbrell gets his first. And David Reynolds on the podium, a whisker away from victory in a classic 2012 race.
My name is Sebastian Bourdais, and I drive for Dragon Racing in the IZOD IndyCar Series. This weekend, I'm teaming up with Jamie Whincup from Team Vodafone. It's actually not that different, you know, an IndyCar and a V8 in terms of the way you attack the racetrack. For sure, the limits are earlier because, you know, the car is much heavier, there's not much downforce, the tires are narrow. But you still you're in the same kind of mentality. If I remember well, we clinched 2 Champ Car championships here. You know, just coming back last year with Jamie and Team Vodafone to try and do a good result, and obviously winning on Saturday, finishing second on the Sunday. So it doesn't get much better than that. It's such a specific car that when you get to drive it only once a year, it's a bit of a challenge, and you know it feels like oh yeah, I do remember, but it's still very strange, you know. So it's a lot of fun though. It's kind of having to push the limits with something you don't really know, and you can't make any mistake, because if you do, then you're ruining a lot of his chances for the championship. You know, we're professionals, so every time we can come out and play, it's great fun.
Sebastian Bourdais, Frenchman, just one of the 28 superstars that's running here on the Gold Coast this weekend for the Armour All Gold Coast 600. Welcome back to V8 Extra. Now, before the break, you noticed those wonderful closing stages of the Super Cheap Auto Bathurst 1000, where this car, driven by David Reynolds, missed out by just 0.3 of a second, winning the biggest motor race of the year. It's back in its familiar livery, and it's got a new co-driver this weekend. It's car number 55, and in the bright green. And the man that'll be co-driving had a great run yesterday in practice 2 and 3. Nick Heidfeld has had a spectacular career in Formula One. Nick, welcome to Australia again. Nice to have you here, but this time in a sedan. You're looking forward to driving a V8 supercar today and tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. The first race for me, we've been testing on Wednesday. Just had to go to the circuit first time yesterday. It's pretty short, but it's exciting, as street circuits always are. The walls are very close, the curbs are high, makes for some cool pictures.
You adapted pretty quickly in practice 2 yesterday. You were 4th, so obviously you're reasonably comfortable in the car.
Yeah, we've been going quite well all weekend. What I had to learn here is that it's very difficult to judge your pace, because you never know what tires everybody's on. But we were a good feeling. Dave put the car on P3 yesterday in the last practice session, where everybody should have been on fresh tires.
Nick, have a great run today. We'll look forward to catching up with you later on. Thanks. Larko?
David Brabham, welcome back. A lot of Aussies interested in you being here, mate, as always. Just quickly tell me, what are you doing at the moment? Where are you living?
Living in the UK, which I have done for like 20 odd years, and doing the World Endurance Championship in a P1 car, just came from Tokyo, where we did a race in Fuji, and heading off to Shanghai next weekend.
Mate, you've driven everything. What is it, David, that keeps bringing you back here? This seems to be part of your yearly calendar now. You obviously love driving these things, but you know as well as I do, they're bloody hard to drive.
Yeah, they are. You know, I was thinking when we were having a conversation earlier, I was thinking, you know what, if there's one thing these cars do, they make your mind go overactive. You're always thinking. I don't know if that's a good thing. So I've actually approached it very differently this weekend. I just don't think about it. I just get in and drive, and you know, the Lucky 7 car's in good shape, so it really gives you a bit more confidence, doesn't it?
All right, good luck this weekend, mate.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Thanks, Larko. Well, Max Pappas, former IndyCar star, is driving this weekend with Stephen Johnson. He's been here 5 times before in an open wheeler. He was runner-up in 1999. Tommy Williams caught up with them.
Hey, Stevie Johnson, hometown race for you this weekend.
It's good, isn't it? Brought Max along, you know, he's been here before. He doesn't know the short track very well. He knows the long track from the previous IndyCars, but he's doing a good job and, you know, taking in some of the sights, aren't you, Max?
Yeah, I love to be here. You know, it's great to be here with Stevie and the 17 Jim Beam car, and it's a special atmosphere. You know, it was about, you know, 6 or 8 years I wasn't, you know, on Surfer Paradise, and being back with all the race fans, all the atmosphere is definitely something amazing, and we have a plan to do something pretty special here.
Hey, Max, you've got a very unique way of getting to the track, I hear.
Yeah. I figure out that in Italy we use scooters a lot.
Yep.
And I always loved having a scooter when I was here at Surfer, back in my previous life, in my open wheel life. So first things I did, went out there, struck a deal with a guy who rented the scooter, and here we go. You know, helmet with flames, really stylish.
Hey, Max, you know, and you've probably got this before, you're going to get Mad Max a lot this weekend, yeah?
Absolutely. You know, I love it. My nickname is who I am. You know, I'm a very intense person with a lot of will to succeed. And, you know, doesn't mean that mad means stupid, just mean like an aggressive guy. Like, I've always been pushing very hard to achieve my dreams. And being here with Stevie and, you know, with his dad, you know, Mr. Dick Johnson, you know, a legend in the sport, it's an honor. And I'm going to work really hard to show them that I deserve the phone call.
My name is Simon Pagenaud and I drive for Schmidt Hamilton Motorsport in the Heisel IndyCar Series. This weekend I'm teaming up with Lee Aldworth from Irwin Racing. But I enjoy coming here. It's a great event. I love V8 supercars. And here in Surfer Paradise, it's like vacation. It's the end of the season. I love being teammate with Lee last year. We had a great result with 3rd position. Lee and I have a very similar driving style. So together last year we found that the same car suited us really well. And we had great chemistry, just almost good friends straight away. It's funny how that works, but sometimes you just meet someone and you enjoy working with them. The landscape is very nice, but when you put your helmet on, you're still racing. I think we all have that in our guts. You know, as a racer, you want to go, you want to win, and there's nothing else that counts. Definitely from an IndyCar to a V8 supercar, everything is very different. We've got similar power with the IndyCar, but we've got bigger tyre, more grip. In the V8, you got to muscle the car around, but you also have to be really smooth. I enjoy the atmosphere first. I think it's what makes it such a great event. The people, the way they enjoy the racing, the way they party around the racetrack. I think for us racer, it's feeling people enjoying those times is really special.
Simon Pagenaud, 5th in the IndyCar Championship for 2012. He stays with Lee Holdsworth, same bloke but new team. He's driving the Irwin Ford there at Stone Brothers. Inside that garage, they are preparing for qualifying, which is coming up. Welcome back to V8 Extra. Curbs, big talking point. Time now for our Big Pond Sport email question of the week, and it relates to curbs. It's from Anna in Newtown, who says, you guys were talking about it in 2011. What's been done for 2012? Here's Larko.
OK, we all know the theory that the shortest distance between any 2 points is a straight line. Now, if you apply that theory to a race drive on a racetrack, such as the Gold Coast, where you've got these curbs everywhere, of course, they're going to try and straight line them to reduce lap times. Can't do that, of course, it's illegal. So, to stop drivers doing it, over years, we've done different curbings and all sorts of things. Last year, what they did here, here's our little transmitter that sits in the passenger footwell of the car. It actually knows when it talks to these electronic wires. You can see the cuts in the cement there that are in the concrete here, it knows where the car is relative to the curb, so the officials know. Problem with this, it worked too well. There was a couple of hundred infringements last year. I reckon they've found the solution. This is new. This Dayglow orange, this is 150 mil high. Hit that, you're in a bit more strife, but let me tell you, you're in a lot more strife if you hit these ones. These are the key. These are these big rumble strips out here. They're 2.2 metres apart, which is the wheelbase of the car, and if you hit that, you're in a mile of trouble. Now, to avoid it, because when you're sitting low in the car, you can't see this. There's that bollard there, this orange thing here. It's made of like a silicon sort of rubber, so it's used as a sighting device. So there's many, many ways to approach this curve. There's only one way to do it really right. Now, before we go any further, what I want to do is show you the rules. Now, I've drawn on the whiteboard here. All the teams, by the way, have seen this. All the drivers have seen this. What's going to be allowable? Now, imagine this is the car driving away from us at turn 1 there. Here's the old curb. Here's the new Darwin curb. There's the rumble strip, and there's the siding bollard. Now, they're going to allow you to do this. You can use all of that curb. That's fine. However, if you put your wheel over the back half of that curb and do it several times, you're going to end up being penalised. Now, what I do want to show you is how to do it right. Now, here's a really good example of Rick Kelly doing it right. Nice full use of the curb. You can see they're not overdoing it. And what's important, this is the balance of car we often talk about. No big weight transfer front to rear, and both tyres sort of get down on the ground about the same time. Car stays nice and balanced, and you can drive off. Beautifully done. Now, Taz Douglas attacked it a bit too hard yesterday, and you can see you can't steer the car properly over those curbs, bang off with the door. Often happens 100, 150 metres past. Now, Garth has realised he can't pull the car up. This is where I think the drama's going to be this weekend. He's chosen then to go straight ahead. Look at that. Now, the impact from doing that, I think we're going to see a bit of that this weekend, is quite severe. And the consequence, well, a couple of corners later, you can see here, there's the shock absorber dragging out, the shock absorber laying on the road. So for me, the question this weekend for drivers is all going to be about risk management. How fast do you want to go? How much risk do you want to take?
Nicely explained, Larko. Look at that beautiful scene. The beach at Surfers Paradise. We're on the Gold Coast for the Armour All Gold Coast 600. We're back with qualifying very shortly. This is V8 Extra. Stay with us. Beautiful aerial images, sun, surf, sand and V8 supercars here on the Gold Coast. We're not far from the world's dream world, movie world and sea world, but right now it's all about V8 supercar world. Now we've got 11 Formula One drivers in the field this weekend. One of them is Tonio Liuzzi. He's driving with Tony D'Alberto, and Tom Williams caught up with them.
Well, look out. Here it comes. The Italian connection is back together. Tony and Antonio. Nice to be back together, boys.
It's great to be back together, to have Antonio back out here this year. You know, did a great job last year. And this year we're really embracing the Italian theme. We've got the Italian flag over the bonnet, which looks awesome. And, you know, we're going to have pizza and pasta for lunch and breakfast and dinner and morning tea and all that.
Tonio, you've really taken it to the next level too. We love your shoes.
Yeah, I try my best, obviously. I try to be as Italian as I can, as you can see. But Tony's helping me a lot in this. He prepared the Italian flag car, and I bring my kit with the shoes and the helmet.
Did you do that cartoon yourself, that caricature?
Obviously, I'm not a good designer. I've got people working on that, but that was my idea, so.
All right, guys, we'll go easy on the pass, not too much.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. You got to try and keep those carbs down a little bit. But hey, we're going to work it off this weekend. Big races coming up, and we plan to be there at the end, pushing really hard. So go Team Italia.
Tony D'Alberto there with Tonio Liuzzi, who last year drove for Hispania Racing. Now, don't forget, those of you that are watching us in Western Australia, if you want to continue to enjoy your V8 supercars, switch across to 7 to continue enjoying all the action that's going to be coming up this afternoon. Now, sadly, in December last year, in fact, December the 15th, we lost one of our great friends in Jason Richards. Of course, it was devastating for Charlotte and Sienna and Olivia and the entire family. So everybody's getting together to try and continue to assist the family. And Andrew Clark noted motor racing editor, has put together an online book with some details on screen there at the moment. So I urge everybody to go on there and perhaps subscribe and have a look at that book. It's beautiful. Scafey, we're not far away from qualifying. It's very noisy at the moment. The Carrera Cup cars are out there. I'm looking forward to this. I thought yesterday Ford Performance Racing were very strong. Positions 2, 3 and 4. It might be a strike back for them after disappointment at Bathurst.
It could be, Neil. I thought the other way, that the Vodafone guys actually struggled. And you know what it's like qualifying here? Big risks, huge commitment to do a good lap here, and there'll be some drama attached to curbs.
Yeah, and I think trying to get that measure right is obviously going to be something that we talk a lot about through the course of the weekend.
Oh, certainly. And you know, this is an unbelievable field, isn't it? It's one of the best fields we've ever seen in this country. And for the top guys to be battling for the championship around these streets, as I said, big championship implications.
Well, the boys are all starting to look nervous in their garages. That was Graham Rahal there a moment ago. He's driving for Jack Daniels Racing. You could see Mark Winterbottom there as well. He'll be keen to do better after the disappointment at Bathurst. I hope you can join us. Matty White will be with us in a moment to start the show proper. Hope you've enjoyed our preview. Stay with us on 7 for more V8 Supercars.